The air around the set of Siren's Kiss is thick with tension, the kind that doesn't just belong to scripted romance, but to something far more layered, more unsettling, and infinitely more compelling. What was first teased as a haunting melodrama is rapidly transforming into one of the most psychologically charged pairings in recent K-drama memory. At the center of it all stands Park Min-young, an actress long admired for her poise, elegance, and razor-sharp control over every character she inhabits. But in this series, something is different. Observers have begun to notice a subtle shift, a tightening in her gaze, a measured restraint in her movements, a performance that feels less like romance and more like quiet self-preservation. Opposite her is Kim Jung Hyun, whose portrayal of an emotionally complex male lead has sparked intense debate across fan forums from Los Angeles to Seoul, Madrid to Manila. His character's fixation on Park's heroine isn't written as overt obsession. Not at first. It creeps in. It lingers. It breathes. And that's precisely what has viewers unsettled. A romance that feels like surveillance. In early episodes, Kim's character appears devoted, protective, attentive, almost painfully sincere. But sharp-eyed audiences have begun dissecting scenes frame by frame, pointing to subtle blocking choices and cinematography that hint at something more invasive. The camera often positions him watching her from reflective surfaces, mirrors, windows, water. His dialogue carries undertones of ownership masked as affection. And Park's character, instead of melting into his gaze as one might expect in a traditional romantic arc, begins pulling back, not dramatically, not loudly, but undeniably. Her once open posture shifts to guarded angles. Her smiles hesitate half a second too long. Even her wardrobe transition from flowing silhouettes to more structured designs, a visual metaphor, some speculate, for emotional armor. Was this intentional direction? Or is something more layered happening beneath the surface of production? Park Min-young's evolution, from romantic icon to psychological powerhouse. For years, Park has embodied aspirational romance. The confident secretary, the resilient lover, the charming professional navigating love and career with finesse. But Siren's Kiss feels like a pivot. Industry insiders whisper that she requested script adjustments early in filming, seeking deeper psychological grounding for her character. Instead of portraying a woman swept away by intensity, she insisted on depicting someone perceptive enough to sense imbalance before it spirals. That choice alone reframes the narrative. In a global entertainment landscape increasingly critical of romanticized obsession, Park's guarded performance resonates strongly with Western audiences who have grown wary of toxic tropes disguised as passion. At the same time, Asian viewers, deeply attuned to emotional nuance and storytelling, have praised the restraint she brings to scenes that might otherwise tip into melodrama. Spain's thriving K-drama community has especially ignited online debates, analyzing whether the series is subtly critiquing possessive love rather than glorifying it. Kim Jung Hyun's calculated intensity. Kim's performance is equally calculated, and perhaps more unsettling because of it. His character doesn't rage. He doesn't shout. Instead, he leans into stillness. He listens too closely. He appears when least expected. In one pivotal scene, he finishes romantic storytelling. What makes Siren's Kiss especially explosive isn't scandal. It's timing. Across the United States and Europe, audiences are re-evaluating narratives of love that blur into control. Meanwhile, in Asia, modern dramas increasingly explore emotional complexity rather than idealized fantasy. This series lands precisely at that crossroads. Park's guarded portrayal feels like commentary, a woman recognizing subtle red flags before they escalate. Kim's fixation, meanwhile, unfolds with eerie patience, a reminder that obsession rarely announces itself loudly. Instead, it whispers. For global fans of K-dramas and C-dramas alike, this tonal shift signals a maturation of the genre. The days of unquestioned grand gestures may be giving way to stories that interrogate intent, cinematic clues that change everything. The show's recurring ocean motif adds further intrigue. The siren metaphor traditionally symbolizes allure and danger intertwined. But here, who is the siren? Is Park's character drawing him in? Or is she the one struggling to escape a current she didn't anticipate? Several episodes subtly reverse perspective. placing viewers inside Kim's gaze, then abruptly pulling back to reveal how isolating that gaze feels from her point of view. It's disorienting by design. American viewers accustomed to psychological thrillers have embraced this ambiguity. European critics praise its layered symbolism. Asian fans debate its moral framing in late-night threads that stretch thousands of comments deep. No one agrees on where it's heading, and that uncertainty fuels its viral momentum. The guarded heroine as a global archetype, perhaps the most groundbreaking element, isn't Kim's fixation. It's Park's refusal to romanticize it. Her character does not crumble. She studies. She calculates. She protects herself emotionally even as she navigates complicated affection. That portrayal resonates strongly in 2020's access global climate, where audiences crave empowered narratives that don't sacrifice vulnerability. Park's performance feels almost instructional, a masterclass in subtle resistance. A glance that says, "I see what you're doing," a pause that says, "I will not be consumed." The question no one can answer: is Siren's kiss building toward redemption, exposure, or unraveling? Will Kim's character confront his fixation, or will it tighten like a noose around the romance viewers were promised? And will Park's guarded instinct save her or isolate her? What's undeniable is this: the chemistry between them is not soft or easy. It crackles with tension that feels dangerously real. And whether intentional or serendipitous, that intensity has positioned the series as one of the most dissected dramas across continents. In living rooms from New York to Seoul, Barcelona to Bangkok, viewers lean forward, not to swoon but to decode. Because beneath the surface of longing stares and whispered confessions lies a deeper revelation. Sometimes the most powerful love story isn't about surrender. It's about recognizing when to guard your heart, even when the world expects you to fall. If the first half of Siren's Kiss unsettled audiences, the latest episodes detonate something far more explosive. The realization of fixation, when left unchecked, begins to rewrite reality itself. And this is where American viewers, in particular, are locking in, because what unfolds between Park Min-young and Kim Jung Hyun no longer feels confined to the safe boundaries of scripted romance. It feels like a case study, a psychological chess match playing out under candlelit confessions and ocean-swept promises. The moment the illusion cracks. In episode 9, everything changes. Kim's character doesn't explode. He doesn't confess to obsession. Instead, he calmly reveals knowledge he should not have. A private conversation, a hidden insecurity, a fear Park's character shared only once. The silence that follows is deafening. Park doesn't cry. She doesn't accuse. She simply looks at him. And in that look is something that American thriller fans instantly recognize: awakening. It's the exact split second when a woman realizes she's not in a love story. She's in a surveillance story. Social media across the United States lit up within minutes of the episode airing internationally. Viewers compared the shift in tone to prestige psychological dramas, praising the show for daring to dismantle the fantasy from the inside. Guarded but not powerless. What makes Park's performance magnetic in this continuation is her restraint. She doesn't run. She recalibrates. Her body language sharpens. Her questions become precise. She begins testing him, feeding small pieces of information to see where they echo back. It's subtle warfare. And that's what makes it so addictive. In many past romantic dramas, a heroine discovering obsession is breaking through in America. Siren's Kiss isn't trending because it's romantic. It's trending because it's relevant. In an era where audiences crave narratives that challenge emotional manipulation rather than glorify it, this series feels almost prophetic. It's glossy enough to seduce you and intelligent enough to confront you. Park Min-young delivers one of the most nuanced performances of her career. Kim Jung Hyun embodies intensity so convincingly that viewers can't decide whether to fear him or feel for him. And that moral ambiguity, that's what keeps the United States watching. Because this isn't just about who ends up together. It's about who sees the truth first. The next episodes promise confrontation, exposure, perhaps even reversal. But here's the real question. When the final revelation surfaces, will it validate Park's guarded instincts or shatter everything we thought we understood? If you think you've decoded the tension, think again. The tide is turning, and the most shocking confession hasn't even surfaced yet. Stay close. Watch carefully. Because what's coming next in Siren's Kiss may redefine the way you see obsession, love, and the thin line between them forever.